Welcome back to Xbox Corner, Luke here, and today on the channel we're taking a look at Vampire Survivors, a game which took Steam by storm and has been in early access on PC Game Pass for a while but has now made its way to consoles. If you enjoy roguelikes or really addictive one more run titles with a ton of stuff to unlock though and aren't too fussed about top tier visuals, then this may be the game for you. So drop a like, subscribe for more Xbox reviews, deals, graphical comparisons and Game Pass roundups, and let's get into it. So we're skipping the storyline with this one, as quite frankly there isn't one, and instead we're getting straight into an overview of what you can expect from the gameplay. Now, the concept with Vampire Survivors is really simple. In each run of the game, you're given 30 minutes in which to survive an ever-growing onslaught of enemies, which increase in difficulty the closer you get to the time limit. Enemies drop experience crystals, and each time you level up you get to select either a weapon or a passive item. But unlike something like The Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon, you don't have to bother aiming at enemies, as the game has a simple single stick control scheme and your weapons activate automatically, so it's more about avoiding enemies and positioning yourself correctly to take out as many as possible in one go. The weapons themselves though range from crosses which boomerang back and forth across the screen, and garlic which emits a damaging aura around you, to flowers which trail behind you, or firework displays which blanket the whole screen in a shower of colourful explosions, and things can get pretty hectic when you've built up a complete arsenal of them. But each of these weapons can be upgraded in subsequent levels to increase their effectiveness, with some eventually able to be evolved into even more powerful variants with additional effects. Each of the game's characters though begin a run with a specific weapon and come equipped with their own unique sets of stats and passives, and throughout your playthroughs you'll unlock additional characters, which is where the whole replayability factor comes into play with this one, the unlocks. In addition to over 40 different characters, many of them being secret ones with specific criteria required to obtain them, there are also 5 main stages to play through, each featuring different enemy types, unique bosses and modifiers, and the stages themselves are in fact constructed of very simple tile sets which span endlessly in any given direction, but each of them contains their own secrets for you to discover. Furthermore, you'll have a bunch of unique bonus and challenge stages to play through, which again have their own secrets and unlocks, and you'll eventually unlock additional game modifiers which you can toggle on and off as you desire. Now, I've given you a very basic overview of the general gameplay loop in Vampire Survivors, and to be honest it really doesn't change much from one run to the next. But one of my favourite aspects about the game is experimenting with the different characters, weapon combinations and arcanas, which are essentially a bunch of additional modifiers which change up how certain weapons work or introduce new gameplay mechanics, and once you get things going you can really snowball into an absolute powerhouse, which can often make the game feel a little bit easy. However, there are options to make things more difficult, and several of the bosses do offer a considerable challenge. For me though, completing challenges and chasing all of the different unlocks is what makes Vampire Survivors so addictive, and I've been playing the PC version constantly for the past week. I've also purposefully left out a lot of the details in this review as part of the enjoyment comes from discovering things for yourself, and I haven't really wanted to spoil that for those coming into the game for the first time. But if you're looking to get some hints and tips to get you started, then be sure to check out the pinned comment below for my quick guide to surviving in Vampire Survivors. The last thing that I want to mention is that the developer is currently in the process of porting the game over to an entirely new engine, hopefully by the end of 2022, and with it should come a slew of new content for you to enjoy, but in the meantime I suggest you get to work filling out all your collections and completing those challenges, as there are plenty of rewards to unlock, and there's currently enough content to keep you occupied for at least a week, if like me this one manages to sink its teeth into you and doesn't let go. So obviously, Vampire Survivors isn't going to win any awards for its graphics, at least not by modern standards, but if you're a fan of the 8 and 16-bit era, you'll be right at home, especially if you're a Castlevania lover, as many of the game's sprites and indeed its characters, weapons and levels take influence from the series. The simplicity of the visuals is not only done for artistic effect though, it also appears to be out of necessity, as once you get towards the end of that 30-minute timer, the enemies are pouring in from every angle and you have weapons sharing the screen with projectiles and effects. Frame rate issues become a real concern. However, thankfully the game holds up well on the next gen consoles, though I'm not too sure how it will perform on the Xbox One. And while the visuals may put some people off even trying the game, I for one was a big fan of them. So for me, the audio in Vampire Survivors is another standout point. Like the visuals, the sound effects and music really capture the feel of the original Castlevania games with that awesome retro feel to them, and to me they most closely resemble the ones found in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The soundtrack has an epic mixture of high-tempo dance beats and electronica mixed with pianos, organs and heavy metal guitar licks, but it all sounds on point and it's quite possibly one of my favourite soundtracks this year. But I'm a sucker for the classic Castlevania tunes, so maybe my opinions are a little biased. All in all though, great stuff. So when all's said and done, while Vampire Survivors isn't quite as deep as some of the other roguelikes when it comes to the mechanics and overall depth of the game, it certainly delivers on that one more try feeling, and it also has plenty to keep you playing with its unlocks and secrets. It's a game you can definitely pick up and play 30 minutes at a time, or hours at a time if it grips you like it did with me, and while it's not the most challenging roguelike out there either, it does have its moments, but the single stick shooter control scheme make it incredibly accessible, and if you're looking for a game to sink plenty of hours into, then I highly recommend giving it a go. From us, it gets a solid 8 out of 10 for a rating. With that said though, have you played this one already, or will you be picking it up for the first time? And if you do decide to give it a go, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. Be sure to check out my quick guide to surviving Vampire Survivors in the pinned comment section below. Drop a like and subscribe for more Xbox content, including reviews, deals and graphical comparisons, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks everyone, take care.